Welcome to Catalyst Kids. This is Rebecca.
And this is Simon.
Good morning. I'm so excited, Rebecca.
It's 5 weeks until Christmas.
5 weeks? I love Christmas.
Me too.
Rebecca, what is your favourite thing about Christmas?
The presents.
Yes, the presents. I love the presents of God at Christmas.
Not the presents of God, these presents.
Oh, you mean like presents you unwrap?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, actually, today, we're not talking about those kind of presents. We're talking about a different kind of presents. We're going to talk about God's presence with us. Yeah. So, we should get ready to hear about God, shouldn't we? So we'll talk about not the presents, but the presents. No, she's not getting it. Okay, we're going to worship. We're going to hand over to the worship guys, and we'll see you lot on the other side. Let's worship!
There is a place for me in heaven, a beautiful truth, I can't believe it. This great thing I know, the Savior's on the throne. There's more to this life, it's supernatural. I'll set my heart on things eternal. This great thing I know.
Oh, we're back from worship. I must say, Rebecca, I thought you were very good.
I thought you were very good too.
And the song was very good. It was a new Christmas song, or at least new to me. Now, what next?
I'm still confused about God's gift.
Yeah, we just sang about the best gift ever. And we were talking before about presents, weren't we?
These presents. But I don't understand how God gives presents.
Ah, and in fact, God gives us his presents. I'll tell you what, let's ask the Connect crew if they can help explain it.
Yeah, I think we should.
Let's go to the Connect station.
We're gonna spend some time with friends, but first things first. Watch a show, learn a verse, sing to God, let's rehearse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody say. So when we play a game, let's be clear, here's what it's all about. We'll learn a lot, live it out. Everyone, it's time to shout. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody say.
Hi kids, Clint here.
And Ray, and Christmas is getting closer.
And closer.
And we can't wait. And since Christmas is about giving,
It's the perfect time to think about God's gifts to us.
and God is the biggest giver of all, and us here on Connect Station want to be givers just like him.
And that means to give cheerfully.
And to give much. God's greatest gift to us is when he gives us his presents.
Oh, presents. I love presents.
No, not present. Presents. God gives us his presents.
Okay, so when do we get to open God's presents?
No, see, it's not something that you open, it's something that you have. Everyone that believes and follows Jesus has God's presence with them already.
Great. So when do we get to open it?
Clint, I'll explain this more to you later. For now, it's time to
Rehearse the verse.
Today's verse comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 23. Do it like this. Matthew 1:23. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Now, you repeat after me. Matthew 1:23.
Matthew 1:23.
She will give birth to a son,
She will give birth to a son,
and they will call him Emmanuel,
and they will call him Emmanuel,
which means God is with us.
which means God is with us. The prophets in the Old Testament said long before Jesus was born that he would be called Emmanuel. And what the prophets said came true. Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us.
And that's what presents means. God is with us, and through Jesus, God gives us his presence.
You just said present.
Alright, so remind me, why am I playing this game again?
Cause it's fun, and cause no one else will play with me. Okay, it's your turn.
Woo!
Oh yeah, oh! Okay, go. Yeah? Yep.
I get it? Okay?
You got it!
I got it?
Right on the nose.
Hey!
Okay, Mike, it's your turn. Play with us.
I can't. I told you. I have to, run the station and make sure we don't fall into the sun or...
Okay, but this is for the championship. You can't be too busy for it. Mail! I'll get it!
Saved by the bell. Nice!
Credit job.
La la la. Oh, it's It's a Christmas card, and it's to all of us. It's from Dr. Emo. I'll read it. Dear crew, I trust all is well on Connect Station. You will soon be receiving a Christmas surprise. Merry Christmas, signed Dr. Emo.
I would like to point out that that does not sound anything like Dr. Emo at all.
Yeah, but I can't really do a German accent. Plus, a British one is much cuter.
Anyways, he's sending us a Christmas surprise?
Yeah. I wonder what he's sending us. Maybe it's something to eat. Maybe it's something to wear.
Hey guys, if Dr. Emo is surprising us, maybe we should surprise him back.
That's a great idea.
That's a fantastic idea. So, what are we gonna do?
I don't know, but it's gonna be big.
La 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 la.
La, la. Got anything yet?
Yeah, I think so. What if we made a movie?
A movie? Can I be in it?
Yeah, of course, I'm counting on you. What should it be about, though? Let's see, it's supposed to be a Christmas surprise, so what if we made a Christmas movie?
Can I be Mary? Please?
I don't know. I want it to be different than all the other Christmas movies.
A Christmas movie that's not a Christmas movie? I bet there's something in the Bible that could help us. Let's see. Ah, there it is. God's promises to his people. Let's watch.
This is his 66 picks mixed up into one. The books about God, who he is and what he's done. It's the Holy Bible, y'all, with God's truth packed tight inside. It's alive, a prize to hide in your heart and in your mind. Old Testaments are set up for the big event when Jesus crashed the scene with a new arrangement. It's history, his story, whose story, God's story. Oh, the story of how much he loves me. Let it blow up all the pages, let this show go live. Let his word explode from this video into your life.
The Bible is God's word, and it is full of his promises.
God promised Noah he would never again send rain to flood the entire earth.
And with God, a promise is a promise.
God promised Abraham he would become the father of a great nation, God's people.
And with God, a promise is a promise.
God promised his people they would live in a great land, the Promised Land.
And even though it sometimes seemed like that promise might never happen, with God, a promise is a promise.
He led his people out of slavery in Egypt to the land he had promised them. God spoke to his people through prophets. He promised to send us his son, Jesus.
And with God, a promise is a promise.
Many years before Jesus was born, the prophet Jeremiah said God's son would come from King David's family. The prophet Micah said God's son would be born in Bethlehem.
And with God, a promise is a promise.
The prophet Isaiah said that he would be called Emmanuel, and his kingdom would last forever. God gave many promises about the birth of his son, and many years later, Mary gave birth to Jesus in Bethlehem, the city of David. And they called him Emmanuel, which means God with us.
It all happened just as God said, because with God, a promise is a promise.
When Jesus was only 8 days old, Mary and Joseph took him to the temple to dedicate him to God. There they met a man named Simeon and a woman named Anna. When Simeon and Anna saw Jesus, they celebrated. That's because God had promised they would live to see God's son before they died.
Simeon and Anna looked at Jesus and knew God's promises to them were true. Because with God, a promise is a promise.
People in the Old Testament could see what God was like by looking at everything he had done for them throughout the years.
Yep, all the way until Jesus came.
Then, when they looked at Jesus, they could really see what God was like. After all, Jesus was Emmanuel, God with us.
Alyssa, you're a genius.
I am?
Yeah, Meet me at the hub in 0900 hours. Bring Mike with you too. We got a movie to make.
Today's point is all about a wonderful gift God gave on that very first Christmas. Will you say the point with me? God's gift gives me His presence. Very good. Our friends are making a movie. It sounds like Cruz has something unexpected planned. I wonder what it will be.
Okay, Mike, a little to your right. To your right, 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 to your right. I mean, to your left, to your left, to your left. Left, left, left. I mean, go back, go back, go back, go back. Right there.
I thought we were doing a Christmas story, and I don't think I get this because where's baby Jesus?
Ah, okay, that's what Dr. Emo is expecting. But we are gonna be different.
It's a Christmas movie that's not about Christmas. Get it?
No.
Okay. We are making a movie of how people during the Old Testament saw God's presence before Jesus. All right. Okay, so do you know your parts? Okay, and action. Long ago, when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, and God's presence led them by a cloud at day, and a pillar of fire at night. Long before that, it all started when Moses saw a burning bush.
I don't feel good about this.
Don't try this at home, kids. Cut. Okay, let's try again.
No, let's not, or someone might actually get burned.
I was actually burned.
Guys, this movie has to be perfect. It is showing the world how to see the presence of God.
Are you sure this is how it's done?
Sure it is. Dr. Emo will love it, and so will you. It's going to be epic. You'll see. I haven't even built the temple or the Ark of the Covenant yet.
Cruz, we know you've put a lot of work into this, and what you're trying to do is awesome, but I think you're missing the whole point to Christmas.
I might have severe burns.
Huh. Maybe you're right. I don't know what to think. Maybe I'll go to the room. Hi, room.
Hello, Cruz. How can I help you?
Dr. Emo is gonna give us a Christmas surprise, and I thought I would surprise him with the movie on how to show people God's presence. But Alyssa and Mike think I'm missing something. Am I missing something?
You seem confused. Is there a place you can look to find understanding?
The Bible. Room, will you show me today's verse? Matthew 1:23. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. But what is today's Bible story? God's people saw his presence in many ways.
It has always been possible to see God in the things he has done for his people. Now, for those who believe in God and follow his son, Jesus, Emmanuel, God's presence lives inside them. It is with them everywhere they go.
So, I believe in Jesus, and God's presence is inside of me. Well, I guess I knew that, but how do I show people that?
The gift of God's presence isn't something you can see with your eyes, and it's almost impossible to understand with your head. Like any gift, you just have to accept it.
I am so happy with all the gifts that God gives us. Like Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. God's gift gives me his presence. Wow, that's it. That's the point. God's gift gives me his presence. God is with me.
That is correct, Cruz. You have received God's wonderful gift, because you have chosen to follow Jesus.
So now I know how to show people God's presence. Thanks, Room. And then she gave birth to a son, whom then they called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. And cut. All right, great job, everybody. Now we just have a couple of final edits and we'll send this off to Dr. Emo.
I really think Dr. Emo's gonna like this.
Me too. So, what made you change your mind?
Well, when I went to the room to talk about God's presence, I ended up figuring out the point and connecting the dots.
You figured out the point? What is the point?
God's gift gives me his presence.
God's gift gives me his presence.
Yeah, so when I had went there to show people God's presence, I realized all I had to do is show them Jesus. Thanks to him, God's presence is everywhere. Hey, look, our surprise is here.
Here's a card. I will open.
We have a pet!
Dear friends, meet Nova, the robot dog. I know you will take very good care of him. May he bring all of you great joy this Christmas and always. Signed, Dr. Emo.
This is awesome.
You're a cute dog. Yes, you are.
Hey guys, maybe we should do the robot dance of joy.
Hey, more Christmas decorations.
Well, sort of. I'm linking together all the ways that God made his presence known to the people of the Old Testament. See? This one is the one where God parted the Red Sea so that his people could escape Egypt. And this one is where he led them through the desert as a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night.
Oh, and ooh, this one is about when he sent his prophets to speak with his people.
Right, and there's lots more, but the most important one is this last one.
Oh, right. Thanks to Jesus, we don't need pillars of clouds or fire to let us see God's presence or know he's with us. When we believe in Jesus and make him the leader of our life, our heart becomes God's home.
That's right, and God's presence lives inside of us, and it's everywhere we go, which reminds me of today's point.
Will you say it with us?
God's gift gives me his presence. And thanks to Jesus, God's presence is with us always.
In fact, that's what one of Jesus' names, Emmanuel, really means. God with us. Will you say today's verse with us?
Matthew 1:23. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. This week, let's remember all the wonderful gifts God gives us, especially his presence. Now, Clint, I have a present for you.
Oh.
Here you go.
All I got is my presents for you.
Ah,
How do you like it?
I see what you did there.
Today I was reminded that God's presence lives inside of me. It's everywhere I go. And God's presence can live inside of you too. All you have to do is accept God's wonderful and generous gift. And do you know who God's gift is? Jesus. God's gift of Jesus was offered to everyone, but not everyone accepts his gift. Unwrap God's generous gift to you. Choose Jesus. Choose to accept him, and you can be a giver just like him. Here's a video to show you how.
We are back from space. Hey, I learned a lot from the Connect crew. Do you remember, Rebecca, what was the point?
God's gift gives me his presence.
That's right. You see, God's gift to us at Christmas was Jesus. And Jesus was called Emmanuel, and Emmanuel means God with us. And in fact, you know what? We can have God's presence with us all year round, not just at Christmas. So, Rebecca, which is your favourite presents now?
God's presence.
Yeah, but we still like these presents too, don't we?
Certainly.
5 weeks to Christmas. We'll see you guys next time when it's only 4 weeks. Thank you for joining us at Catalyst Kids. Goodbye!